This is my fantasy bike, my 2016 Aprilia RSV4 RR. I pinched myself for 6 months after I bought this bike, totally an impulse buy, but here we are like 2 years later, just over 12,000 miles, and I'm actually wondering if I need this bike, if I made the right purchase, and if this bike's still for me. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you about what I love about the bike and the problems it's given me. Let's ride. Alright, so believe it or not, lately I've been asking myself if I want to keep this bike. I haven't been throwing a leg over it much. Literally in the last 8 months, I've only done just over 2,000 miles. That's just ridiculous. This bike is made to be ridden hard. And yeah, and it's made me wonder, like, did I make the right purchase after all with this thing? So let me tell you all the great things about this bike that you may not already know. I mean, it's obviously a great looking bike. It's bold, it looks racy, I love it. I think it's the most badass looking bike out there for me. The power is insane. I've never had this much power between my legs in my life. It's literally scary at times. Just over 200 horsepower. To me, it's the best sounding bike. I mean, I love the Yamaha sound too. Not a big fan of Ducatis. For me, the V4 is just wow, amazing sound, and the bike handles like a dream. I do track days on it once in a while, and the thing is just miraculous around a track. What's up, guys? So in all those regards, man, the bike scores a 10. I mean, it hits the number 10. It checks the number 10 box in all the categories for me. And believe it or not, I got this bike on sale for only $13,000. They're now about $17,000. So it was an impulse buy. I didn't even go to the dealership wanting to buy a bike, and I ended up with this thing. So yeah, serious impulse buy. Didn't really think it through. I already had just bought a Suzuki 1000 like months before, but I want to talk to you guys about the problems I've had with this bike. Some of them are kind of bizarre. Nothing I ever expected. So let me show you the first thing that went wrong. This is going to blow your mind. Okay, so the bike's brand new, and I'm getting an oil leak coming out right here. This is the shaft for the clutch actuator. Oil leak right here. I replaced the seal. Still leaking oil. I'm like, that is just crazy. So one day I'm pulling in the clutch, and as this thing is pivoting, I can see the shaft moving like this, sideways. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. There's supposed to be a bearing in there holding that shaft. Pop out the seal again, look in there down deeper. There's no bearing. The needle bearing is gone from the factory. Crazy, right? But got it all fixed, no problem. It's been fine ever since then. The second thing that happened, wow, there's just bikes everywhere today. The second thing that happened was kind of serious. Literally the cooling fan stopped working, and it turned into a big problem because there was no cooling fans in the United States. Aprilia didn't have any in Italy. I'm like, dude, this thing could be down for months. Luckily I knew somebody at Aprilia, and they were able to score me what I needed. And you know, it needed some other things like some sort of a sensor and stuff, and the total on that bill would have been $688 if I didn't have it under warranty. Then one day, wow, more bikes. Then the next thing that happened was it was throwing a service light, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of scary. I take it into the dealership where I bought it, and I said, hey, can you tell me why the light's on? They say, yeah, $138 later, they're telling me, yeah, because you unhooked your exhaust flapper valve. You either need to hook it back up, or you need to get the race ECU. So what did I do? I got the race ECU. I got a deal, but normally I think it's over $600, man. Oh, that power is just insane. Then there's a recall on the bike for the front brake. Now, it may have been a precautionary thing. My front brake was working fine, but I took it in, got that all taken care of. No big deal. Those have been the only real serious things. Occasionally, the service light pops on for no reason. I mean, for some reason, I don't know why. It pops on, it turns itself off. You know, back and forth. I've learned to ignore it, and maybe that's not the best thing, but I just think the electronics on this bike are really finicky, you know? And anytime you get work done on these bikes, it costs more than like the Japanese bikes. I mean, even to change the tire, you know, if they were to pull up the wheels and change the tires for you, they're gonna charge you more just because it's an Aprilia. I literally asked my mechanic, he goes, yeah, I'm gonna charge you more, you know, for this bike than I would most bikes. I'm like, really? Even if it's not any more work, they charge you more. I'm sure that applies to everything on this bike, service and such. So you gotta be ready to spend a little bit more money on these things to keep them on the road. And for me, like, I'm just not logging enough miles on this thing to really appreciate it, to justify the cost of, you know, the payment and insurance, to justify when my warranty runs out. You know, I'm going to be responsible for everything that happens to this bike, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that. You know, do I love it that much? I kind of don't think so. Maybe the rush of having a bike at this caliber has worn off. You know, when I first got it, I was so passionate about this bike, and now I'm less passionate about it. The thrill has kind of worn off. Even though this thing is a thrill to ride, the thrill of owning it has kind of died down. So in all honesty, if I had to buy another one, I probably wouldn't. I would probably buy, you know, an R1 or something like that. But you have to remember, I've experienced the thrill of owning one of these bikes. And, you know, if I hadn't done that, I would always be wanting one. Always be wondering what it's like to own one. Now I've done it, I've experienced it, I kind of feel in a way I can move on. I'm really afraid to sell it and let it go, because knowing me, 4 months later, 5 months later, I'll be like, dude, why did you sell that bike? You had it all tricked out, it was beautiful, it was amazing, and now you just like, you don't have it anymore, and now what are you gonna do? Anyways, I wanted to put that out there. I know there's a lot of people thinking about getting one of these bikes. Sometimes these videos help you understand what you're getting into, and, you know, on a positive and a negative level. I guarantee you, if you buy one of these bikes, it will make your arm hair stand up in so many ways, and you'll be like, wow, this bike's amazing. And it's a great feeling when you're on one of these bikes, because you feel like there's not many vehicles on the road that are going to beat you. Not many bikes and very few, if any, cars. So yeah, that just feels good, you know. It's a feeling of power. It's that whole alpha male thing. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, if you haven't been watching my bobber builds, I have a new one going on right now. It's an old Honda 650. Go check that out if you haven't. You know the usual drill. Subscribe, like, comment. Love to hear from you. See you guys next video.